Oh, okay. Before we get into that, why do we want to monitor and control things? Why? Why I should monitor and control things? Yes. Why do I monitor and control things? You can write it over here. Why do I monitor and control things? Okay. Let me start and then later you can post it. Okay, why do I monitor and control things? First, for automation. If I want to make it things automate, then I there will be a need for me to monitor and control things. What is automation? You just think you have a small garden and you will be watering every day for the garden, either in a regular pattern like morning or evening, or at the time when there is a need, right? In if even if you have a regular pattern, if there is a rainy season, you will not water it, right? If you want to automate that, then what you need, you want to monitor the moisture of your soil, that is dryness, right? And you have to check weather condition. If you think it will be a rainy today, you will not water it, right? Okay, and if you want to automate, you have to open the tab automatically on and off, right? So in such kind of automations, you expect the items or the entities involved in the scenario to be monitored and controlled. Then for optimized energy utilization, right? Okay, what is optimized energy utilization? We will take the same example, right? If you pour excess of water, that is not going to be of use, right? You could have heard of sprinklers, right? You just uh, give the only the needed amount of energy water to the plants. I'm saying a simple example. Even if you can think it of your classrooms, right? If nobody is inside the class, the switches and fans can be offed, right? And in other case, if it is 12 o'clock, right? If it is afternoon and there is a bright light inside the class, there is no need for light to be on. If it is on, it can be off automatically, right? This is for optimized energy utilization. This is not the, it doesn't comes under the application of automation. It is for optimized energy. Here the energy you are trying to save is electricity. Then surveillance. What is surveillance? Keeping watching for things. We can take our security system, right? If I want to have a security system in my home, I want to keep monitoring what is happening in and around my room. I want to track the intruder who come inside my house, right? In such cases, I can go for surveillance. This can be extended to a large level. The surveillance can be in a home level. It can be done for your server rooms. It can be done for your labs. And then it can be okay. And then it can be done for your office, right? Okay. Then remote access. If you want to have remote access, then I need to monitor and control thing. What is remote access, right? Okay. Consider being a parent. I want my kids to watch one. I have given in them instruction that you should not watch TV and I'm going out. And I want to ensure that the person is not watching TV. I want to know an indication that if he switches on the TV, I should have an access control on me to make it off. Right? That is remote access. I'm saying you a simple literal examples, right? In this case, I'm having a control over that, right? And even you can, this is remote control, and you can even have remote monitoring. I consider a scenario. Okay, construction of bridge, and you have implanted sensors during the construction of bridge. Why? The reason is you want to monitor the strength of the bridge throughout the time. That is your remotely monitoring, right? In this case, you are not going to control it, you are going to remotely monitoring. In such kind of remote access, I need to monitor and control things. Okay, how to monitor and control things? I hope that you people could have understood what are all the scenarios I need to monitor and control things. Now, how to monitor and control things. If I want to monitor an item, first of all, I should have an ability to uniquely identify it. Say simple scenario in the classroom. When I'm taking class, I will be monitoring all the students. If I want to pick out and say something to a particular student, I should have a unique identification. Either I call out by the register number or I call out by the name, right? Then only I can focus the direction towards a particular person. So in the same way, if I want to monitor a thing may be any entity. It may be a person, it may be an object. It is either it can be a living thing or non-living thing, right? I should have a unique identification, that is unique address. Then I should have a sensing and actuating mechanism. What is sensing and what is actuating? Sensing in the sense, see, okay, I give you a simple example. Um, if somebody give a slap on you, first you have to sense it, right? Then only you will react, right? The feeling of getting a slap is sensing, and what the reaction you give back is your actuating, right? Okay, so there should be a mechanism for sensing the events and for giving a reaction. As your Newton law, every action has equal and opposite reaction. So first you have to sense the action. Only if you sense the action, you can react. So there should be a mechanism for sensing and actuating. Then ability to communicate. Okay, I sensed the thing, right? In a local environment, I sensed it, but I want to communicate it to the outside world. There should be a mean of communication, right? So there should be a way for communicating that we use your network. This network can be a low range or high range, which we will discuss in detail. Then notification or control, right? Okay, what is this notification or control? Okay, I have sensed it and it is being communicated to me. If I want to give response back to that, I have to send pass information back, right? That is your front end. That is what your notification and control. With this basic introduction, now we will get into our agenda. So now you know, if I want to monitor and control things, you should need a unique identity per thing. Then you should have the ability to send specific information about the things. Then you should be able to communicate between the things, and you should have a way for communicate this information to the outside world. Okay, so today our agenda is, by the end of this session you will be able to answer what is IoT, what is the basic building blocks of IoT, what an IoT architecture will have from the layman point of view, then the evaluation of your IoT. Then, how do you identify things in IoT? We know you need an identity for things, but how you do it in IoT? Then, what is Industry 4.0? A simple IoT application and challenges you face in developing an IoT application. Shall we move for the agenda? Anyone can unmute and answer it. Shall we move? Shall we proceed further?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Okay. So, what is Internet of Things? The word says anything that is connected to an internet, then that forms Internet of Things. It could be your paper, pencil, water bottle, right? Whatever may be, anything that can be uniquely identified, right? That can be uniquely identified and able to connect with internet, then that forms Internet of Things. See, from a flower pot, right, till your car, anything can be connected to your internet, then you call it as Internet of Things. So in simple word, it is nothing but network of things capable of sensing its environment and communicate the sensed data to the outside world. What is outside world? That is what it is connected to internet, right? Okay. To do this, what I need? I need sensors, actuator. Sensor is to collect information. Sensor is for collecting information and actuator is for responding to the command that it receives. We will be seeing all of them in detail in coming session. Next, you should have a way for identifying your things, right? It may be a sensor, it may be a device, it may be an actuator. You should have a unique way of identifiers, right? Then there should be internet connectivity to communicate with the outside world. Then, okay, I have collected all the data. This data is sufficient for me. You need to process the data to have meaningful way of applying it, right? So you need to have a way for analyzing this data, that you call it as back-end analysis, right? And this you will be studying in your module 4. Okay. And for IoT, you have n number of definitions. We are not going to see all of them. We are going to see some two important definitions. First is your IEEE definition. I want any one of the person to unmute it and read out the definition on the screen. It is nothing new. Any one person unmute it and you read out the definition, IEEE definition for IoT.
An IoT is a network that connects uniquely identifiable things to the network. The things have sensing, actuation, and potential programmability and operating. Through the exploitation of unique identification and sensing, information about the thing can be collected and the state of thing can be changed from anywhere, anytime by anything.
Thank you so much. Right? So, as we discussed, what is IoT? It is network that connects uniquely identifiable things, and this thing should have sensing and actuation, and sometimes the programming capability, not always. Then, this things information can be collected, and the state of the thing can be changed from anywhere, anytime, and anything. What is state of the thing? We will take a simple switch. What is the possible state of a switch? Our day-to-day life we have seen, right? On and off, right? So two states it can move. If you take a fan regulator, you can set it at 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Off state. All this means the state of your thing, right? Then the next definition, ITU definition, um, you can the same thing given in a pictorial representation. You can connect anything, right, from any place at any time, right? That is what IoT. In simple words, you can connect anything from any place at any time, provided you have a network connectivity and unique identification, right? This is what IoT, right? Any place in the sense from the indoor, even when you move, it may be static or it may be movable, right? And based on anything, it may be from thing to thing, or it may be from human to a thing, or it may be between human to human, right? It may be between machine to machine, right? Okay, that is what IoT. With this basic definitions, I'm not going to spend much time over here. we will move for the building blocks. Okay, by this time you could have got a picture in your mind what is IoT. If it is IoT, I should have some devices in the field. That devices in the field is my sensor, right? The devices in the field is my sensor. This sensor has the capability of sensing the environment, right? Okay, it sends the data, but where it sends the information, the sensed information, right? Before passing to the outside world, right? The sensed information will be sent to an onboard, right? It will be connected to a simple microcontroller, right? Microcontroller is nothing but it is like your processor, handheld processor, right? The data will be sent to that, and through that onboard data, after collecting the data, this will be, if you have more than one sensor, right, you should have an ability to communicate within themselves. If you have only one and if you want to have direct net connection, you can have it through your board, right? In both the cases you need a communication channel, right? Either if it may directly communicate, or it may communicate to an intermediate gateway and then communicate to the outside world. In both the cases you have communication channel. I tell you a simple example. In you have your mobile device, right? In the mobile device you can directly have your net connection through your service provider, right? Through, that means through your SIM, or you can have your net connection through the hotspot, Wi-Fi hotspot, right? But in both the cases you have used a communication channel, right? That is the same thing here. I may use communication channel for communicating from the field to the place where it has to be sent. Okay, what is this cloud service? I'm sensing the data, I'm sending somewhere, right? Okay, where this data are being saved. You know that even we people have all the people, you have Gmail account, right? And to save our data you use Google Drive. Why you use Google Drive instead of your local laptop or your local file storage? For large amount of space, that is one reason. And you can retrieve it from any time, from anywhere. If it is in your laptop and you are outside and you don't have your laptop with you, you cannot retrieve the data. But that is not the case if you have placed that information in your Google Drive. And your Google Drive is the best example of cloud service. In the same way, for IoT, you should have the ability to retrieve data from any time at any place, right? And to have storage, and for bulk storage we use cloud services, right? And in the clouds, and once data is stored over there, you can apply many analytic techniques to inform meaningful information. For example, I told I want to on or off, right? When to on, when to off, right? I need to perform some calculations, right? All this could be done on the data stored over here, and the final information, the productivity, has to be given to the user in term of application, right? This application may be it may be running in my mobile, or it may be a web application. So the basic building block means you have devices in the field. A very good example for this is, I have picked some two examples up. One is your temperature sensor, and another is temperature and humidity sensor, right? For an example. Then as an example of your onboard, you can use your Arduino or Raspberry Pi, which you will be using in your virtual lab. And for communicating from the field, you can have Wi-Fi. You have many things: Wi-Fi, Zigbee, right? I have given specifically Wi-Fi because it will be easy for understanding. Then for data storage, there is many open source cloud providers like ThingsBoard, ThingsSpeak, Azure, Amazon, right? You may be using any one of them, right? And you can develop a mobile app using Blink, or even you can develop mobile app using Arduino for your IoT application. So by end of this training, you will be capable of handling all these things. That is, you will be aware of some sensors. You know how to use your onboard for sensing data from the sensor and communicating it to the outside world and storing it in a cloud storage, and how to retrieve the stored data from the cloud and develop an app, right? Fine. Any doubt in this, or shall I proceed for the next point? Students, shall I move for the next? Anyone can unmute and answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. Right. Okay, with this understanding, okay, from layman view, that is from a common man view, I think some person is waiting. Okay. From common man view, what are the basic things that need to be present in the architecture? Okay. I should have an IoT device. Then I should have a gateway. What is this gateway? Right. Okay. See, you just think of your gate doors. In your home, you have gate, right? If some person want to get inside your room, that mean inside your house, or you want to move outside of your house, you use your gate, right? That is the same thing. You consider your devices is deployed in a particular scenario. Let us take that scenario be a home or a simple room, right? If information from this room has to be communicated to the outside world, or instruction from the outside world has to be passed to the devices present inside the room, I need a door, right? That door you call it as IoT gateway, or you call it as IoT agents. I have given Wi-Fi hub. This is one typical example that we use it normally, right? Though you are not using IoT devices to access net, you could have used Wi-Fi, right? In our colleges, you use through Wi-Fi, you connect internet. Now, uh, we will later see even your mobile have sensors, right? That we will see in later, right? I hope you understand what is IoT gateway, right? Now, the information from the devices can be communicated to the cloud, and the information from the cloud can be retrieved, and it can be used to develop applications that can run either in your mobile, PC, web, whatever it may be, right? So from layman architecture, if I say IoT, you should remember I should have an IoT device. I should have an IoT gateway for communicating the information between the device and outside world. I should have an IoT cloud where the information will be saved. Then I can use my mobile or PC to run applications that is capable of commanding and retrieving data from my IoT device, right? Okay. Actually, for IoT, like your uh, TCP IP layers, you have three-layer architecture, five-layer architecture, which I have not given at the beginning point. Being you have people from different streams, I have covered from the basics. Later, we will discuss in elaborate. Okay. Reflection points. Now it's time for you. You people have to tell me what are all the things you have understand. We will move for the we will move for your whiteboard. Reflect what are all the things you have understand. That is, if it is an IoT, what are all the things needed? You people can post it here. we will discuss it for 1 minute and then we will get back. Okay. If it is IoT, what are all the things will come to your mind or what are all the things you needed? You can post it here. If you find hard to write it in pen, you can post it as sticky notes. Sensors, good. Okay. We need and sensors getting an input, actuators getting, okay, you need, good, you need sensors for getting for reading data, that is the input as an input, and actuators which produce output. Good. Good. You need a cloud service for storing your data. Good. You need actuators as a respond. The remote access is must. Yes. If I want to have a remote access, I should have some range of communication, long range communication. That is your internet. Good. Very good. Yes, you need a net connection. Yeah, Wi-Fi hub. This Wi-Fi hub act as a gateway. The gateway can also be termed as agent, IoT agent, interface to connect. Yeah, that is yeah, you need a communication channel. Either it may be a low range communication. Low range communication is for communicating between the IoT devices. You think in my home I have an IoT fridge, that I have an sensor in my fridge, I have a sensor in my light. That is uh, if both want to communicate with the outside world, they don't have internet connections on their own, they will communicate with my Wi-Fi hub or router or IoT agent, and through that it will communicate to the outside world. Good. Yeah, you use cloud service to store data for future reference. Good. I had a lot of responses. I'm happy to see. With this, we will move for further continuation of our presentation. Right. So from the points you have given on the board, I just reflected. You need sensors and actuators. You need a processing device, that is your microcontroller unit from the sensor, right? Your sensor, it cannot directly send the information, right? It has to send to some device that is capable of processing, that will be moved further. Then you need a low range communication, the gateway to connect with outside world, internet connectivity, cloud for storage, data analytics for retrieving useful information. Then you finally build an application, right? So I guess all the reflection points you people have covered it. Okay, now we will see evaluation. Your IoT will not come in a single day, right? We will see the evaluation of IoT. So it started, the evaluation started from your desktop computing. What is desktop computing? At the stage, at the beginning, you have your personal computer, right? That personal computer is capable of doing all the process, right? What is computer? It is an electronic device capable of performing a task. That is what we know, right? That is the first evolution. You do anything with your computer. That is your desktop computer. Then comes your embedded system. What is embedded system? Not only the computing power is given only for the standalone system, the computing power can be given to our day-to-day life, right? That kind of evolution come with your embedded system. That is, you embedded computing capability inside our day-to-day life items. Say like your washing machine, you can set the time, right? You can set the time for washing, you can set the time for drying, right? You have digital clock, right? So all this software or specific for particular for that application, that is your embedded system. Okay, is it okay for me? No, I want these embedded systems to communicate with each other without a wired connection. Then comes your wireless sensor network. What is wireless sensor network? Again, you will have sensors deployed anywhere, right? And that sensors will sense the environment and communicate among themselves without any wired connection. That is your wireless sensor network. Okay, what happens if I give net connection to them for remotely access from anywhere? That's your internet of things, right? So your internet of things is you anything, right? Anything like in your embedded system with you can have wireless connectivity and net connectivity, you can form your internet of things. Okay, now we see that in elaborate. Before internet, how person to person communicate, they used your phone's SMS, right? When you formed a smart network with the introduction, when you had your internet, you are being connected at anywhere. You can you used your email, you used it your internet for entertainment, right? You are connected at any point of time. When when this internet is emerged better with more services embedded in it, then you had your e-productivity, e-commerce, that is your e-shopping. All this emerged by introducing service inside your internet, right? With more usage of your smartphones and application, then comes your internet of people. You have social media, right? You may be anywhere, but you are connected through your social media. That is internet of people. Okay, only people can be connected? No, even the things can be connected in the internet. How that was made possible? By introducing smart devices and tags, that is giving unique identification to your devices. You have your internet of things where even your machines to machines communicate with each other. This is what the simple evolution of your IoT. Okay, long time I have you are hearing me. Now you can watch a simple video that explains you what is industry 4.0. You can watch what is industry 4.0. Okay. With this, um, you have watched a video, right? Okay. What are all the person is waiting? Okay. Um, okay. What are the points you get through this video? You can post it here. What do you understand from that video, or what are the points you get from that video? Okay, evolution of industrial technology, role of IoT in daily life. I couldn't get this power machine. Okay. Step by step development of industries, right? Okay. You had four industrial revolutions, self-driving car, good. You have four industrial revolution. In the first revolution comes with the invention of steam engine. The points you want to understand is the first revolution comes with the invention of steam engine. That is your first revolution, right? Okay. Then the second revolution comes when you start using your electricity, right? Then the third evolution comes when you at most used your that is electricity in the sense electronic components. Then the third revolution comes when you start using your internet, electricity, and so on, right? That is your third revolution. The fourth revolution comes when you started things to connect with your internet. That is your IoT, right? So the first revolution comes with your steam engine, then your electronic components, then when you used your internet, and now we are in the fourth industry revolution. Only IoT is needed. No, it is one of the basics for industry 4.0 revolution. What other things you have? You have your big data analytics, you have your artificial intelligence, you have your 5G network. All this are the basic blocks for your industry 4.0 revolution, right? And your IoT is one of the key enabler, right? Your IoT is key enabler. With this with this I will post you some two polls, right? Just to check your understanding, right? I will post you some polls, that is I will paste a link in the chat. You can give your response. See, there is no mark awarding anything, right? And nobody will view what answer you are giving for any, right, for this quiz. It is just to understand how you think, have your view. What you want to do is you just click on that link. If you click on that link, see, if you just click on this link, what the link I posted on the chat box, a window will be opened. There you have a question. Which industry branches are suitable for Industry 4.0 development? What you think as an answer, you can click it, you can select it and click vote. The question is which industry branches are suitable for Industry 4.0 development? Which you think as the best suited one, you can select that option and you can click vote. Okay, I got only 22 votes. Why only 22? There were 33 students, right? Good. Yeah, that's what you give what you view as the right one. 33 peoples were in the meeting, but I got only 22 votes. That means 11 persons are virtually present in the meeting and physically absent. May I conclude like that? I give one more second. I give two more, some half minute before I move it. Only 22 votes. What happened to remaining 11? Okay, we cannot, we need not to wait further. We will move for the answers. Okay. Results. Okay, many people have thought the first voted for the first option is used in all industrial contexts where where processes need to be more intelligent. Good, especially in automotive. Okay, not only in automotive and agricultural sector, it is being used in everywhere. Industry 4.0 is used everywhere where you need some intelligent and you need some automation, right? Yes, it of course enriches your service industry, right? Okay, now I will post you the second link. Okay, I'm getting okay, I post you the next another link in the chat box. You can vote for it. Ma'am, refresh the results. Why? Total votes 29. Okay. For 29 members voted, so you want me to refresh it. Good. That means only 4 persons were not present. I think now you can vote it quickly. Which role do internet technologies and the IoT play in the context of Industry 4.0? They form the base to convert everyday items. They form the base for an environmental friendly production. They form, among others, the base for corporate communication. Which you think as the best one, right? Without wasting time, I directly go for the result because now you know how to vote it. Okay, the result is, yeah, you people were right. They actually, your IoT forms the base to connect everyday items. That is how it helps in your Industry 4.0. It is one of the basic enabling technology for your Industry 4.0, right? I think now you people have got an idea of what is Industry 4.0 and some refreshment, right? So now we will get back. Okay, now we see what is IoT, what is Industry 4.0, what is this IIoT, right? What is this IIoT? It is nothing but Industrial Internet of Things. It refers to interconnected sensors, instruments, and other devices, other any network devices whose application is mainly concerned with industry, right? Mainly concerned with industry like manufacturing. You call it as industrial IoT. So is there any difference between IoT and industrial IoT? Yes. IoT, you call it as consumer IoT, and in what is means if IoT is applied for applications like your phones, in your wearable devices means you might have heard you can have your watches that monitors your heart rate, pressure, and pass the information um, to the concerned person if any alert is need to be sent, right? Then your TV, appliances, home, all if it is connected, you call it as consumer internet of things. Instead, if you connect your factory, your smart grid is nothing but if you um, use your metering, you know about electricity and metering in your home, right? If it is connected in net and you have the possibility of exchanging energy, you call it a smart grid. We will touch it in later. Your city, smart city, your smart car, all comes under your industrial internet of things. That is what difference. Actually, basically both are same. If the application is more concerned with industry, then you term it as industrial IoT, right? It is a big area. From now onwards, we will not get into it in depth. I just want you to introduce this term. Okay, before we start with what are all the things we have seen so far, we just seen what is why to monitor, how to monitor, what is IoT, right? And evolution of IoT. Then you were viewing some videos on Industry 4.0. Then you know what is industrial IoT, right? Now we will see what is how to identify a thing, right? Before we see that, I want you people to recollect how to monitor things. What are all the things I want to do if I want to monitor things? You should have a unique identity. You should be able to communicate between things. Normally, it could be your wireless communication, and you should have an ability to sense information, the same point which we have seen already. Then a medium to communicate, right? Now we will focus on the first point, how to uniquely identify. Okay, what is the difference between identifier and network address? You look at this picture, right? You look at this picture, you can unmute and tell me what you understand from this picture.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, it is audible. You proceed.
Ma'am, the person who's standing in the center just monitoring the others so surrounding them.
Pardon? A person? Yes, it is along with the family.
Ma'am, the person who's standing at the center, ma'am, is just monitoring the others.
Okay, good. The person at the center monitors others. Good. One view I have got. Any other view?
Ma'am, identifies a
Yes, you are audible. You can speak.
Ma'am,
Yes.
the center person is playing a different role in different position.
Good.
He's a,
Okay, you come up with another. Yeah, central person plays a different role at different position. Yes, now we have got two views. Good. Any other views? Okay, let me proceed with this. So we got two views. The first view is the central person is monitoring others. Of course, that is also right. Then the next view is a person plays a different role. Yes, that is also right. Okay. Why, from my point of view, why I have placed it means if I want to identify this person may be identified by his unique name or maybe by his Aadhaar number, right? Some unique identifications, right? This person can play a different role at different position. When he was here, when I want to locate where the person is on outdoor. The identity remains same. Let the identity be X. The person X is at outdoor. The person X is at work. The person X at this meeting. X is with family, right? So the identifier will not change, but your network address tells the location of your identity, right? So your network address may change, but the identifier for a thing will not change. And if I want to connect a thing to the internet, see, you have to understand the thing can be a living or non-living, right? Both is possible. So if a thing want to be connected to the internet, you should have an identifier and you should have a network address, but your identifier remains same throughout its life, right? But the network address may vary depend on the location of the thing. Are you people clear? So your identifier is for unique identity and network address gives you the physical location of the object which may change, right? With this distinction, I will focus on what is identifier, right? So you have three kind of identifier: object identifier, communication identifier, and application identifier. Okay, you may understand what is object identifier. If I have multiple object, let me assume that student in a class to be the objects, right? So multiple students, multiple objects, unique identification for each of them. So what is communication? If suppose I communicate with the objects, that means I communicate with my students through Blackboard, through presentation, right? um, Even through non-verbal means, right? Through texture or posture, right? So I may give unique identification to each communication ways. Or in other words, I am communicating with student X. That is one communication link, or it should have specific identity. If I communicate with Y through one medium, there should be a specific identity, right? That is communication identifier and application. For what purpose, right? I may communicate with an object for multiple purpose. That is, I may communicate with the student for assigning assignment, for writing test papers, for giving feedback, right? So a different application should have different identifiers. Now, with relevant to IoT, we will see what this identifier means. Giving identity to physical or virtual object, you call it as object identifier. It cannot be used for addressing, right? It is not for addressing or communicating. Example, your barcodes. I hope you could have seen this barcodes in many items. When you purchase, even when you purchase items, it comes with barcodes, right? Then for communication, to identify nodes on a network with communication capability, right? If that object should have communication capability, that is any sensor or network device, the very familiar one is your IP address for communication. Then what is application? You identify unique services or unique entities, logical entities. The example is your uniform resource identifier. I tell you a simple example. You people could have downloaded movies or textbooks or any books from the internet, right? Uh, how you get it, how you are able to get that particular movie or textbook, how it is possible, how that is possible. That book will be stored somewhere in the world, right? Somewhere at some place, and they could have given some identity, right? Some identity for that, for getting, for being accessed through the internet. That is your uniform resource identifier. Got my point? Right. With this understanding, I move further.
Ma'am, sorry to
Okay.
interrupt.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you said communication as IP, but can we consider MAC addresses also as communication identifiers?
Yeah, yeah, of course. You can consider your Mac also as a, okay, your Mac can be considered in both ways. Even your Mac, it can be used for uniquely identifying a physical entity. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
But we can't use, ma'am, but we can't use IP addresses as identifiers because they tend to change from place to place, ma'am.
yeah, yes, you cannot use you can use IP as your communication identifier, not object identifier,
Oh,
communication identifier. For example,
okay, ma'am.
let me give you an example. You have one system and I have another system. If both the systems are communicating, that means they both are passing information. If I send information that comes through my system to your system, right? Okay, this
Yes, ma'am.
both system has to be identified in the network, right?
Okay.
Okay, that point of time, how do they identify? They identify themselves by means of network address. That is your IP address. That is communication. This communication address is not actually identity of my system. For communicating, I am making use of it.
Okay, ma'am.
Am I made you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, fine.
Ma'am,
Shall I move further?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
ma'am,
Yeah. Okay. The next thing very good question that was, and the next thing you wonder is, okay, I give an identity to an object. How do I virtually work with that? There comes your digital twin. Before I introduce the term digital twin, I want to ask students some question. Have you purchased online?
yes, ma'am.
Yes, you could have, or even you could have ordered your meals through online, right? Okay, let me put a scenario. I want to purchase some wardrobes. Okay, I want to purchase some dresses or shoes, right? I select a particular dress or an item. When I select that item, an entire description of that item is being shown to me. When I made a purchase, there is a reduction in that particular item, right? Okay. Uh, is it physically I am viewing that item? No. But virtually, I was able to understand that item because they have given a virtual representation for that particular physical item. Am I right? In the same way, when you communicate, I have a physical sensor, right? I have a sensor. When I'm trying to communicate with that sensor, I should have a digital replica of the sensor. What is digital replica? What are all the characteristics I can make change in that sensor? For example, I take a simple example. If I want to on or off, right? What was the size? What was the size of it? What was the current state of that? Right? All this will explain the characteristic of that sensor or the thing. That explanation, you call it as digital twin. So what is your digital twin? It is the digital replica of living or non-living physical entity. Why I use this term means you can understand. Okay, we take a simple example. If you're filling any application, they are asking your Aadhaar number, right? You can for simple understanding, you can consider this as your one of your digital twin, right? Because giving your Aadhaar number is doesn't anyway related to your physical what, right? Your physicalness. But with this Aadhaar number, I can access all your details what I needed, right? So that could be considered as a simple example. So it can be a process, right? I can create a digital twin for process, for people, for places, for system or devices, for any purpose. If you want to handle through software, right? If you want to process it, you want to create a digital twin. This picture could explain you what you mean by digital twin. So we will discuss this in elaborate in coming session, because for each of your physical object, you will be accessing only as a through digital in terms of virtual identifier, that is your digital twin. Okay. What is this identification scheme? Uh, Okay, if I ask you how I can uniquely identify you people, you will say, ma'am, I have register number. Through the register number, you can uniquely identify me. How do I uniquely identify? From the first two numbers, I will understand whether you're first year, second year, third year, or final year. Then from the third digit, I will understand your UG or PG. Then from the next two numbers, I will understand from which department you belongs to, right? Then the last three numbers will tell me you whether you are an lateral entry, transfer student, or the regular student joined through from the first year, right? So you have some that is your identifier. From this identifier, how I infer information, right? I have one scheme, right? Okay, if I take Aadhaar as an identifier, again there I will have a scheme from to infer your information from the given identifier. That is what identification scheme. So you have certain identification scheme. The first is your object identifier. This was introduced by your ITU. See, this is one identifier given through your object identifier. What it means it was given by the object identifier was introduced by ITU, and it is used both by for your ITU and as well as ISO. So the one indicates it is an ISO. If it is 0, then it means your ITU. If it is 2, it means both ITU and ISO. Okay. 3 indicates it is an identified organization. Then DOD means that it is for Department of Defense. Then the next it says it is an internet. Then it says one says it is a private, and the next your 343 tells it is meant for your Intel. So when this unique identifier is given for an Intel corporation system that uses your ISO identification, these are the way how it is being splitted. As I tell, how from your register number, how I can info various information about your graduate, about your year, about your branch. In the same way, from this identifier, I can infer this information. Your IoT uses object identifier scheme, electronic product code scheme, UOUID, that is universally unique identifier. Then your international mobile equipment identity. I know you people were familiar with this IMEI. What is this IMEI? I just want to know whether I was connected with people so anyone can respond. What is this IMEI? Where it is, where you have seen this?
Ma'am, in mobile, about phone number.
Super. In your mobile for unique identification of your SIM card, right? When you purchase, right?
Yes,
You get your IMEI number. Okay,
Ma'am,
fine.
it's not for the SIM card, I guess.
Mm,
It's actually for the phone
yeah,
that we use.
that is the unique
something
identification.
similar to that MAC address.
Okay, good. Any other response? Fine. Now I'm going to give you as a home assignment. See, like object identifier, I picked one object identifier and it is being expanded. In the same way, you have to do it for your EPC, UEID and IMEI, right? Just for understanding, right? How this identifiers will be, right? With this, I move for connectivity platforms. In connectivity platforms, you have low range communication and long range communication. What is low range? That is, if I want to communicate within a short area, right? Like your LAN, local area networks, what connectivity platform I can use. Now, today we are going to discuss only about your low range. Near field communication, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Bluetooth lightweight, Z-Wave, and Zigbee and Z-Wave, right? These are all some low-range connectivity platforms that used to connect your pings to communicate with each other. And about them, we will be discussing in elaborate in the upcoming modules, right? I just want you to introduce this terms, right? Then, why this IoT has become more popular, okay, or how it was easy to adopt to the IoT. This is because the hardware size is being reduced, the computation ability is increased, and now it is easy to get internet access. Because of these three reasons, these are the three main reasons why your IoT has become a blooming technology. You know, your hardware size is reduced, there is an increase in the computation ability, and you can avail your internet access in a quick way. Now, we see an example for this, that is your smart home. You can connect any of your home appliances, right, through any of this low range communication. Okay, this IRS infrared, using this low range communication, you can connect with your onboard systems. From there, you can connect through your internet, through your router, and from there you can apply your app. Can anyone tell me any simple example for the smart home from this picture? You can tell.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm hearing.
Switching on and off of light by a voice command.
Super. On and off of light by voice command. Good.
Hello,
Any
ma'am.
other? Yeah.
There is a gas sensor and a motion sensor, ma'am. So by
Yeah.
using the gas sensor, we can frame that firing alarm, something like that. And
Super.
using the motion sensor by switching on and off automatically.
Okay, good. I
And
expect
by
more.
using motion sensor, we can detect a robbery also.
Yes, 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 yes.
And by using temperature sensor, we can maintain a particular temperature in freezing uh, factories, like ice factories.
Oh, okay, fine. Yes, even you're using your temperature, even in the home, you can maintain an ambient temperature. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. And by using temperature sensor, we can use the to maintain the constant temperature among the devices, ma'am. Sometimes, if a motor is on, it may increase the temperature of the motor, and it may cause some malfunction of the motor. So that we
Oh,
can use the temperatures to maintain such a things.
okay, fine. That's good example. Good. Okay. In the way you can come up with many examples. Actually, there are a lot of applications, so we will discuss when then and there we will discuss about some applications. Right now I introduced one simple product which is available in the market, your umbrella. Right, it is a thing which we could have never expected that this will communicate with the internet. Right, so what I have picturized you is an has umbrella. This is the first IoT umbrella. What is its purpose means it has the ability to sense the weather condition. How? Because it will communicate with your mobile, right? It through low range communication, it will communicate with your mobile, and through from the mobile it will get the weather information. Right, it will get the weather information, and based on that it will give an alert to the user that you have to pick up me today because you may be in need of me. Right, that kind of alert messages can be passed by this umbrella to the user. How that was made possible means it is connected to the internet through your mobile. But how it is not directly connected? Through some low range communication, it is connected to the mobile. Through the mobile, it will get the weather information from the weather forecast. Right, this is available in market, you can check it out. Right, so from this particular example you can visualize. Right, anything can be connected to the internet and any useful product can be um, based on your creativity. You can come up with many IoT products. Even I appreciate you people in coming classes if you are able to pick such kind of IoT products as example and you can share with us. Right, okay, so what are all the challenges you may be facing? The very first challenge is security. Right, you have lot of chances. See, if IoT comes into existence, it become part of our everyday life. So if there was an cyber attack, it creates a larger damage. For example, there was one thing called mirare attack which happened to down the sites. Even your Facebook was down for say 1 or 2 hours because of this mirare attack. How it was made possible means they attacked IoT devices in the houses. Right, and they made to send requests to the particular website at a single point of time. When you get more requests at a particular point of time, you will go down because you will not able to handle all the requests at a time. It was done. Right, so you have, this is one kind of security attack. So you have security challenges. What is this privacy challenges? If I'm being continuously monitored, right, there is a question mark for my privacy. I'm not sure what data is about me is being shared to the outside world. I'm not much uh, aware of that. That is the important thing. Then what is interoperability? The IoT product, you have many vendors Many vendors are developing different kind of IoT products. As you know, you need a way for communicating between product developed by different vendors. When you want to do that, you come up with interoperability problems. At this point of time, I introduce you one word, OFC. I'm not going to explain about that. You people can check it out, and that is one solution for this interoperability, and you can share it in our classroom or in your Telegram channel. What is OFC? Right. Then legality and rights. Many countries have enforced laws on how to use this IoT product. The main reason is your data retention. Data retention is nothing but how much period of time I can keep this data record alive to as a proof of my transactions, or which data I can save and which data I should not save, right? All this legality rights are there, and then you should need a skilled person for deploying and using this IoT applications. Okay. Uh, this is a very, I have given this picture. From this picture, what do you understand? What do you people understand from this picture?
Ma'am, continuous monitoring our device irrespective of the time, ma'am.
Super, good. That is, I've been continuously watch. You have smart TV. Actually, smart TV is the very first IoT product that come into close with the environment, day to day everyday life. You have there was a problem in LG smart TV. That was even 2 years before. What happened means, when you install the TV, it will ask us whether the channel what and all you're watching can be monitored or not, for giving advertisement that is relevant to you. Even if you mark no, you're being watched and your information is being saved in their servers in Korea, and you are not aware how that information will be used, right? And this was accidentally identified by a person when he tried to make some research with the data taken from his smart TV. He accidentally came to know that all the data about the channels he was watching was sent to some other unknown server. Then they released a patch and they have fixed it. Okay, so and still now you have problem, right? If you are not aware what are all the things of you being sold to others, and what are all things of your is being monitored by others, when all the things around you are connected to internet. If it is just a standalone system, you put a firewall, right, and you monitor it, but that is a difficult case. You have firewall, but it is difficult and high for your IoT, right? That is one of the important threat. With this, I wind up today's session. And I would be happy if any one or two persons, not one or two, I want many persons to come to summarize what we have learned today. Instead of me summarizing, I want you people to summarize, and you can also post questions.
Ma'am,
Yeah, I'm hearing.
ma'am, actually you said the data will be visible to all whoever listens to it
Uh,
during the. Ma'am, you
which
said during data transfer, ma'am.
uh, yeah,
Ma'am,
okay, that's good question. You are asking during the data transfer between the devices whether it is visible or not visible, right? Okay,
yes, ma'am.
okay, that's good question. Uh, if you encrypt the data when the device communicate with outside world, if it is encrypt the data, it will not be viewable, but you have flips built. Philips bulb, you have a smart bulb released by Philips. There you can control it, you can on it, off it, and you can change the intensity of light. But the problem is the data communicated was not encrypted. So the intruders, right, they can hack it, and they can read their data. From the data they can understand that when and all you were making your light on, and even they can hack your Wi-Fi password through that. If that data was passed, that is an issue, and this issue was present in Philips bulb. You can check it in the house. You have an issue. That's what you want to encrypt and send. But that is not possible in all the cases, because the IoT devices are power constrained. You want to power constrained devices, memory constrained devices. You don't have much memory for you. Don't even some devices, they don't have memory for storing data, right? In such cases, you cannot deploy the algorithms for encryption, right? That is one big vast area. But your question was right. It was not encrypted. It was not encrypted all the time. When you communicate inside the low range, that is the biggest threat. But when you communicate the data with outside world, you can do that by deploying your encryption algorithms in the gateway of your networks. Your question
Ma'am,
was
but
right.
most of the IoT device uses API with HTTP protocols. But
Okay. Yeah,
but
yeah.
in that case, the data won't be encrypted efficiently.
Okay, okay. As you posted this question, I'm getting into that point. I have not discussed it. You have communication protocols specifically designed for IoT. HTTP and HTTPS secured is meant for web, right? But we people also use HTTP, but that is heavyweight. Why it is heavyweight means when you pass the data, not data alone being passed, you append headers and tailors to have information about the sender and to give information about the receiver, right? um, Being IoT, your what data you pass will be of only small volume, but the header you append will be of large volume. To that is one constraint. To override this, you have a MQTT, COAP, right? All this REST protocol, all this is specifically designed for IoT, right? If you use that protocols, you can send data in a lightweight manner. Getting back to your security issues, that's what I told. It is up to us. It is not advised to use your HTTP or even your HTTPS for IoT communication, because it is a heavyweight protocol. And mostly nowadays, MQTT has become more popular uh, for transmitting your IoT data.
Okay,
And
ma'am.
this about this protocols we will be studying in your third module. In the second module we will be discussing about sensors, and you will be learning more, little bit more electronics in the second unit. In the third unit, in the third module we will be discussing about your connectivity platforms. There you will be discussing about your low range communication connectivity, and then your protocols, communication protocols. And in the fourth unit we will be discussing about your data analytics, and with that we will go for lab. We will discuss all this, but your question was right. Good.
Okay, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm hearing. Yes.
Ma'am, I have little confusion in IP address, ma'am.
Yes, proceed.
Ma'am, as you guys said that IP address is an identifier, not an network address. But actually, the
No,
IP address
I have no
for,
words for them. Okay, you proceed, I will tell you. Okay, you continue.
Ma'am, the IP address actually contains the previous the three elements are drastically represent that address of that object, la, ma'am. So in that
Okay.
case, how we can say that IP address is an identifier, not an network address.
Okay, right, right. I'm getting to your point. Uh, I have not mentioned that it is not a network address. I have not mentioned it. I have given you a difference between identifier and network address. When you get to into communication identifier, what is communication identifier? Communication identifier is to identify your communication link. Your communication link is nothing but your network address, right? I think you have misunderstood that.
Yes, ma'am.
I have not mentioned your network address. That means your IP address is not a network address. I have not mentioned that. That is not the right thing. Actually, your IP address is a network address meant to identify your communication. When you speak in terms of communication, that is a communication identifier, right?
Oh,
Object identifier is different from communication identifier. I told the types of identifier in the next slide. In the previous slide, I want you people to differentiate identifier and network address. And in the next slide, I mentioned you have different types of identifier, object, communication, and application, right? And your network address is one way of identifying your communication, and IP address is an example of network address.
okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Am I made clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Students, if there is not any more questions, I think we can wind up the session. And in the next class, we will be learning today. Now we have just seen what are all the building blocks, right? In the next class, we will see in elaborate what the front end electronics, right? The front end electronics of your IoT. That is what the main core for the next class session, right? With this, your first module will be over. And I hope you people have joined in the classroom and Moodle site. In Moodle, I have posted some videos. If you watch it, you will get an idea of the basics and why I have posted in the Moodle, in the sense, if I can see the indication that you have watched or not, right? And that information or whatever you have to learn before the session, I will post it in the Moodle. And whatever the things that you can refer after your session, I will post it in your classroom, right? If you watch it that videos, you will get an idea, because that concept we will not discuss during the session, because that may be very basics. For example, today I will be posting what is electricity, right? You may wonder why I should know about this electricity. When we speak about sensors, when we speak about the things, if you have some basic idea, it will be, everyone knows electricity, but you know the basics behind this. For triple E electronic people, this may be very basics, but this is not the case for all the people, right? So to bridge it, I will be posting the prerequisite video in your Moodle, right? And whatever the PPTs and the recorded videos channel links, I will post it in the classroom. And at the end of every module, we will be having a quiz to assess what we understand. And I want to make it one thing clear. You may get marks on the quiz, but that is not going to be used for grading and all. It is not from the mark point of view. It is just for no to change my way of teaching on, and to understand how much you have learned. So feel free to attend the quizzes and be genuine in attending the quizzes, right? I hope you understand what I mean from that, right? Okay. With this, I'm going to wind up the session. Thank you, students. We will meet tomorrow.